Hello beautiful plant people, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to do a tour of my mom's plant collection. She is an avid grower of cacti, succulents, and other tropical houseplants. So I'm going to turn it over to my mom so that way she can go ahead and introduce herself and say a few words.
Hello everyone, my name is Stacia. So thank you Ayana for inviting me to your channel. It's exciting to see your channel grow and how you connect with your subscribers. So we may not know the names of all of the plants, but we'll do our best either to put them in the card above or in the description below. So stay tuned.
Alright, so our tour begins in the foyer. My mom only has 2 plants in here. So over here she just has a ZZ plant. And then, what's this one here?
Here is a Euphorbia candelabra cactus or succulent. I'm not sure of the name. We can try to find that for you.
And then moving into the dining room, we're just going to do a quick pan around. And we'll move to our first couple plants.
Over here we have an Alocasia Regal Shield. This plant initially took a little bit of a learning curve to learn how to take care of this plant. Initially a leaf would grow and then one would die off and then another one would unfurl, so another one would die off. We could never maintain more than 2 to 3 leaves at one time.
And then down here.
Here we have a peace lily that is doing quite well, easy to take care of.
And then up here we
has a Sansevieria fernwood, I believe. Ayana and I had purchased 2. She had one and I had one, but
Mine died from unforeseen circumstances. And then over here, what do we have in this area?
Over here we have a desert rose, which I ordered from Maria's Garden, another YouTuber who specializes in desert roses. During the summer I do put this outside and it was in full bloom. It is trying to come back a little. This is a very pretty plant. I always get a lot of compliments about the blooms.
Okay.
This is another desert rose here, also from Maria's Garden. This one did not bloom for me this year, so I'm going to, hopefully it will bloom for me next year. Over here we have a domino cactus, which I really love. I can't wait to see that grow. It's pretty much the same size since I purchased it. And next we have a crown of thorns. Ayana picked this up for me on her trip to Logi's greenhouse. And here I have a fairy tale cactus. I haven't really had much growth with this cactus, but it's still looking pretty good. It did have some mealybugs on it, but I have since treated that. And here I have a mammillaria cactus, an old woman cactus. And next to it I have the old man cactus.
Alright.
And here we have a Fiddle Leaf Fig. This one has, the leaves are a lot smaller and more compact. I love the shape of this Fiddle Leaf Fig. We picked this up on our trip at the terrain, and I really like this tree form. This is my birthday month, so I did pick up quite a few plants this month.
And then moving down here.
Here we have a Sansevieria moonshine. This plant is growing really nicely for me. I love the shape and the color of the leaves. So it's a little slow growing, but it's still very beautiful. Here is my philodendron Little Hope. I really like this. I like the upward growth of this. I have tried growing philodendrons in the past, and I didn't do very well with them, but I'm hoping to have better success with this. And I also picked this up from the terrain.
Alright.
Here is my Euphorbia candelabra cactus. I purchased this from the Old Country Gardens, and it was pretty much this tall when I purchased it. They did a great job of helping us wrap this up so that we can get it home, and I just love all of the arms and the new pups on this cactus, and I can't wait to watch it continue to grow.
And this is a view of how big this plant is. Do have to stand back quite a bit, but that is how that one looks. And we're gonna come over here to my mom's ottoman.
Here we have a money tree. Ayana and I picked this up at Lowe's, the big box store. We both have one. This is my way of having a bonsai. I have tried numerous times to grow a bonsai, and I haven't yet learned the knack of caring for and growing a bonsai, so I thought that this plant may be a little bit easier, so I'm giving it another try.
Alright. And then if we come over here, we're going to start in this section.
Here we have a white bird of paradise, and this is another plant that we picked up at the terrain. Here I have my Euphorbia bassaria.
And down here.
And here is a Euphorbia monstros. I want to say it's a some kind of Peruvian monstros, but I'm not sure.
And then right behind it we have a
variegated Euphorbia white ghost. I really love this cactus. It's taking a long time to put out some new growth. I've had this plant for 2 years now, and this is the first time that it's really growing. So I attribute that to giving the cactus more water. I know I've read a lot of times that cactus don't need a lot of water, but I think it's relative to the space that they're in.
Alright, and then if we come over here, we have one of her newer acquisitions.
This is my Euphorbia ingens. Some may call it a chocolate ingens because of the dark here on the spines. This is a beautiful cactus, and I'm looking forward to watching this grow. I hope to get a second one so that I can pot it up in a bigger pot.
Alright.
And this is a variegated Euphorbia ingens. This is a beautiful, beautiful cactus. I just love the color and everything on this cactus. I picked this up at the terrain. This was actually a birthday present from my family, so thank you very much.
And then the one behind it.
This is one of 3 variegated amic euphorbias that I have here. 1, 2, and 3. Again, I love the growth on this. I love the different coloration in the variegation. Some are more yellow, some are more cream, and others are green. So it's just nice to see the difference in the variegation. They're all beautiful cactus, succulents. Right here is my Madagascar palm. I purchased this in Atlanta. So I really like this palm. It's cool looking. I like things that are very different.
And this one here.
This one here is my crown of thorns. I picked that up from Urban Jungle in Philadelphia. This plant here is very forgiving. Sometimes if I miss a watering, the leaves may turn a little yellow, but as soon as I give it a good drink, it perks right up again.
All right. We're gonna come over here to another new one.
Here I have a Anthurium superbum. I really like the upright growth of this plant, so much so that I purchased two.
And then I believe we have this tall one.
This one, I also purchased this from Urban Jungle. This is a green Amacuphorbia. Again, one of my favorites. And all of this here is the new growth. So it's growing very nicely.
All right, and then if we come over here, we have a couple little ones.
This is a Euphorbia decarii. I really like this plant because it reminds me of something that you would see on a tropical island, and it won't grow any bigger, any taller than this. It may fill out a little bit more, but this is one of my favorite plants. Here we have a Euphorbia obesa, and I love how it's opening up and it's stretching. This is really a unique plant. I like this a lot. And for those of you, if you can't remember the names of your plant, you could always make a label and just stick it on there.
Yeah, I think that's such a good idea. I know Becca de la Plants usually puts tape on hers, but you know, you could always use a label. And even if you use a ceramic pot, if you want to make the label the same color of the pot, that might be a good idea as well.
Yes. Over here we have my Spiralis cactus. Ayana gave this to me for my birthday.
All right, and then we can't miss the ones in the back. How many fiddle leaves are on this side?
2.
So she has 2 fiddle leaves on this side. One's from New York?
One is from New York, a plant shop in New York, and this one here is from Willie Farms. I've received a gift card, so I purchased a Fiddle Leaf Fig. I had initially I purchased 3 Fiddle Leaf Figs when we started our plant journey.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those Fiddle Leaf Figs didn't make it, so I thought I would replace it. And I do like the bushier ones. I like all of them. I'll just be quite honest.
Yeah, she does like all of them. You guys should see us when we got this one from Willie's, how she had us all squished in the back seat while the plant rides shotgun. But I posted that on my Instagram stories.
Things people do to get their plants home.
All right, let's start down here. You said you think this is another Monstrose?
Monstrose, but I'm not sure of the name. If someone knows the name of this Monstrose, please leave it in the comments below.
Yeah, let us know. We're always up to learning.
This is an Anthurium
Clarinervium.
Ayana gave me this plant, which is growing very nicely here, and it has a new leaf coming up in the back.
A new leaf will sprout up right there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's doing really well in her collection. She was really nervous about having an Anthurium, but obviously she's doing a good job.
This is my Rhiphidophora tetrasperma. This plant is really nice. I love how fast this plant is growing. I had a couple of propagations that I planted at the bottom so that this would fill in some.
And this one?
This one is my Euphorbia mahabobokinesis.
Try to say that 3 times fast.
This is a Caudex plant, as you can see, and I just love how this is growing. And these flowers actually bloom most of the year.
Okay.
And over here we have a blue torch cactus. It had a little bit of rot there, which I had to cut off, and finally it is growing here after I removed that rot. It did take quite some time though to recover. Here we have another white bird of paradise. I really love these plants and I'm looking forward to watching this grow, and I don't know, maybe someday see a flower, although I know they're hard to bloom while indoors.
Yeah, you need almost perfect conditions to see a bird of paradise bloom. And then here, what do we have here?
Here we have a ZZ Raven, which I love the texture and the ridges here and the foliage. This is a beautiful plant as well.
And here?
Here we have a burgundy rubber tree. I am learning how to take better care of this plant. I find that there is a learning curve to this. They're not like cactus.
Yeah, the ficus are not for everybody.
No, they're not.
All right, and what's this tall one we have?
This is my Euphorbia ruby trigona. I love this plant. This is also called an African milk bush, and this new growth just started this year, although I've had this plant for 2 years. Like I said, initially I did not give it much water for fear of root rot, but once you start giving it more water, once I started giving it more water, the new growth just shot up. And this is without being put outside. This is, all of this growth is from this summer, because my soil medium is quite dry. We put pumice rock in the soil medium, and we also use perlite, so that way we don't have fungus gnats. But I'm just in love with this African milk bush.
Okay, and then over here?
Here we have another euphorbia. I think this is a zigzag.
The pseudo zigzag.
Pseudo zigzag. If anyone knows, please let me know. And again, this is new growth here. And this is, again, I've had this plant for almost 2 years, and this is the first new growth points. This is another cactus from Old Country Gardens.
Okay. And then the big blue one.
I believe this is a Peruviana cactus. I'm not sure. Unfortunately, a lot of times when you purchase a cactus, they're not labeled. Most of the time they just say assorted cactus.
Yeah, especially if you're buying them from like a more of a mom and pop nursery. Sometimes they're not labeled on the tag. They just say, a blanket statement. And then here
we have my jade plant. I really love how this is growing. Kind of sort of reminds me of a bonsai. Maybe I'll shape this up sometime to have it look more like a bonsai, but this is really growing nicely.
When I look at this plant, I just think of Shrek. All right, and here we have some more Fiddle Leaf Figs.
Yes, so 2 of these Fiddle Leaf Figs are new. This one here and the one in the back. And this is a Majesty palm, which is also new. I've tried to grow these palms in the past, and I have not been successful with them, so I just thought I would try it again.
And what was your inspiration for this corner?
Oh, this reminds me of, I love Hilton Carter.
Yeah.
When I watch his Instagram stories, and he has trees or Frank in the background, and with that beautiful settee in his pictures. I just think that's beautiful.
All right, let's come down here. It's a couple newer acquisitions.
Here we have my second Anthurium superbum. Again, I love the upright growth of that. I love the texture of the leaves. I do like leaves that are a little bit thicker, a lot more hardier and less dainty.
Yeah, especially because the thicker leaves are, they're not as susceptible to pests as well.
Yes. Here we have Philodendron McCauley's for now. I like the variegation in the leaves, the red and the orange. I think this is a beautiful plant. I did try growing a Philodendron Prince of Orange as well as a Philodendron Moonlight, and I was unsuccessful in growing that plant, so I thought I would give it another try. A philodendron another try.
In here.
And this is my Philodendron Birkin. I really love the variegation of the leaves. As you can see, when they first unfurl, they are more white, and as they grow older, they become more green.
All right.
Here I have my Sansevieria Wellfin. Ayana ordered a Sansevieria Wellfin about 2 years ago, and when she received her order, it had 2 pups in the package, so she shared one of her pups with me. Thank you, Ayana. And after 2 years, I had absolutely no growth, so Ayana suggested that I take it out of the pot and put it in some water, and within a week of doing that, a pup appeared. So I think I kept it in the water for maybe about 3 weeks, and I just potted it maybe 4 days ago.
And it's done really well.
Yes, it is. It's beautiful.
Gonna come over here.
Here I have a banana tree, a dwarf banana tree. I don't have much experience with this. I have tried one in the past, but I'm hoping that I will see some growth on this and will be able to maintain this indoors.
All right.
And I have a Sansevieria Larentii here. I just love the size of this plant, and I love the variegation on it as well.
All right. I'm going to step back for these.
Here I have my Monstera Delicioso. I love the growth on this plant. I'm hoping that I will have some bigger leaves soon with some deeper fenestrations. I do think that I am going to cut this plant back and propagate it, and to combine the two. It is growing a little bit lanky for me. I would like it to be a little fuller, and I would like to be able to have it be a little bit more compact. While I do love the plant and the wildness of the growth, it does take up a lot of space. But it's a very, very beautiful plant.
All right, and we're just going to give you one pan around to see the room. And just for reference, these windows and doors are south-facing window, so that is why my mom is able to grow some of these highlight plants, and why they are able to grow, very beautifully. We did skip a plant here. This is her Fuchsia plant, and it's another Caudex plant. With Caudex plants, you do have to be careful of how much you water them, because they do hold the water in their trunk, but she is doing really well with this plant, and I love the whimsical nature of its growth pattern. Here in this window, my mom has a butterwort. Last year I had ordered a bunch of these because we used to have a big gnat problem, but now that we don't really have a gnat problem, we just have this one. And she really enjoys this plant because in the summer and spring months, it does come out with a burgundy color. That color does fade in the cooler months, and that is why it's more green. But that one would catch the insects. Here, this is a Euphorbia stellata that I gave her for her birthday, along with the spiralis. And this one is doing really well. And all the tips you see here that are light green are new growth, but is really enjoying this south window. This one here is a Euphorbia platyclada, or known as the dead plant. My mom got this plant from Il Exotics, and it is so cool how it grows. The texture is amazing on this plant. It is really rigid and bumpy, but this plant is growing really well. She is thinking about propagating it here to have a fuller plant, but it is growing really well all the same. And then over here she has her sad pink princess. This plant was ordered from Gabriella's Plant. When I saw that they had a wait list, I had bought this for her when they first came out. She wants to go ahead and propagate this plant, but we're not sure with all the pink leaves if that section of the plant would survive. But that is what the pink princess looks like.
It's actually a very beautiful plant, and in my research I think that I need to cut it back to where the variegation stop, maybe about here. So I think I'll just cut it back to where the variegation stop, and hopefully I'll see some more variegated leaves. These leaves have taken quite some time to unfurl. Actually, my mom actually likes the pink leaves, but although that we know that they wouldn't survive very long, they may still be beautiful to look at once they unfurl.
All right. And then over here, she has some cuttings from my Monstera Stanleyana. And we're just waiting for those to root so she can have her own plant.
Yes, I did put some fish fertilizer in here, so that's why the water looks like that.
And this is the variegated version of that Stanleyana. So we're just waiting for these cuttings to root up, and then she'll have her own plants. Alright, in my mom's bathroom, she just has a couple plants in here. If we start over here, this is her latest snake plant. This is a Laurenti Sansevieria. I believe she purchased this one at Home Depot. I almost bought one for myself, but I love how it looks in this basket. We have one of her epiphytic cacti that she bought from the Old Country Gardens. Or actually, I bought from the Old Country Gardens and then ended up giving it to her because, you know, cacti aren't my thing. Up here we have a really beautiful staghorn fern that she purchased from the terrain. I absolutely love the staghorn fern and the Vanda box that it's sitting in. This is giving me ideas for my own collection. Over here she has a orchid. And then another epiphytic cactus, which is putting off a couple new growths, but is doing really well in here. And for reference, this is an east window and like an east-south window. So these plants are receiving a ton of light.
Thank you again, Ayana, for inviting me to your channel. This was a lot of fun. If you have any questions or comments, please list them in the comments below and we'll answer them as soon as we can. Please like and subscribe. And again, this is nice.
This was fun.
Yes, it was.
As always, I'm going to enter my subscriber comment to highlight another subscriber. And if you guys want to see any future videos with my mom in them, please leave us a comment in the comment section below and let us know. But for now, we'll say goodbye and see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care, everyone.
Is it on? Okay, so.
I need a bigger necklace.
Really? We better get this thing recorded.
Okay.
Is it crooked? Am I pulling this thing? You want me to sit next to you? That's why I can't move too much.
Why don't you extend the wire?
Because then I don't want to get caught on the plants.
But once we get moving, you can just wrap it up some.
Okay. How's that?
It looks silly up there like that.
But I have to have how else are you going to hear me?
I mean, with all that wire.
Oh, can you see it?
Of course you can. Why don't you just let it go? And then when we get to moving, you can.
Well, we might as well do the intro. You want to do the intro and outro now?
Okay.
While we have it set up here. Is that better now? Are you ready?
Is it on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's running.
Oh my. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much for Ayan. Okay, let's start again. Thank you so much for inviting me to your channel. Again, this was a lot of fun. I hope that you enjoyed the tour. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments below and we'll answer them as soon as we can.
My mom is thinking about doing her Foyer over, so if you guys would like to
Out. Who did it?
Who knocked over the elephant? Say hi, Yoshi. Real. There's Yoshi. Real. Sagey boy, where'd you go? Here he comes. If you guys have a rat pack like this, you might have to invest in some baby gates.